Hey everyone, it's Vykcian, and today we'll cover everything you need to know to get started in New World. In this video, I've compiled a lot of helpful information for anyone new looking to quickly grasp the mechanics of the game, but even if you played the game before, there is a good chance you'll learn something interesting. I tried to organize the table of contents in a way parallel to how you'll experience the mechanics when you first play the game, so I suggest that you watch everything in order. And as usual, I added timestamps so you can easily navigate throughout the video. Also, if you want to catch up on daily New World content, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell icon so you never miss a video. I'll try to upload every day at roughly the same time. Okay, so right after the character creation cinematic, you find yourself shipwrecked on the shores of Eternum, and it's where your journey will start. You can follow the game's basic button intro, and after that, it's a good time to get a feeling of the game's key bindings yourself before you move forward. The first thing I did was to open up the settings menu and read about all the options one by one, changing what I did not like, along with a few key bindings that I would use often, such as the dodge roll key and the weapon sheath. The defaults are not that bad, but if you think other binds would serve you better, it's better to change them now before you start getting used to the default ones. The game has 4 starting areas for levels ranging from 1 to 25, but you cannot choose which one you want to start in. This makes it a little difficult to play with friends from the get-go if you are unlucky and the game picks different areas for each of you. The solution to the problem is simple though. You can do quests up until you complete the quest called Soul Survivor, and then you can walk for like 10 to 15 minutes to a different area and grab that quest there. Eventually, when you hit level 12, you'll be on the same quest line as your friends. You can also recreate your character to try your luck for another area, but there might be queue times, so keep that in mind. In general, you can stick to one starting area for the whole 1 to 25 leveling phase, but you can also do quests in 2 of them at the same time. Keep in mind, side quests are not unlocked depending on your level, unlike other MMOs. You have to start the quest lines from the beginning, so it's good to alternate quests if you decide to level in 2 areas. The game will equip you with a sword and a shield in the beginning, but as you level up, you'll gain access to more weapons. The game does not have a class system, and you can equip 2 weapons which will grant you abilities to use that you can assign from the weapon skills tab. The weapon skills tab is like a talent system that gives you a variety of different options for passive and active abilities to choose from. At level 5 you'll gain access to a second weapon, so remember to equip that. As you level, you'll pick up a variety of weapons to play around. Don't worry too much about which one to stick with, as they are easy to level up later down the line. Respecs are also free up to level 20, but cost a small fee after that. If you are not in a rush to level up quickly, I suggest trying all of them up to level 3 at least, so you can get a feel for all the abilities they have to offer. When you level up, you will also notice that you have gained attribute points to spend. There are 5 main stats on which you can spend your points: Strength, Dexterity, Intelligence, Focus, and Constitution. Each of these provides different bonuses and modifiers for different weapons. For example, if you stack Strength, the weapons that will benefit the most will be the Sword and Shield, the Great Axe, the Warhammer, and the Hatchet. Your melee light attacks will also deal increased damage, and you will also gain 10% mining speed. You can respect those for free as well up to level 20, so you can mess around with different builds. The armor types in New World are divided into 3 categories: Light, Medium, and Heavy. Light provides you with the most damage and also the biggest role in the game. Medium is a mix of damage and defense but decreases the length of your roll. And Heavy is a defensive type of setup and makes your roll even smaller. Keep in mind that you can mix armor parts and still be considered to be in the light category. For example, I can wear all light armor parts and equip a medium chest, but I will still be in the light category. You can check your armor category at the top left of your character equipment panel. It's a little weird they decided to go with that route, but it opens up flexibility for gearing. Each piece of gear has a gear score which is similar to item level from other games. The higher the gear score, the better the item most of the time. There are also different rarities for items in New World, so naturally armor is no exception. Gear is also tiered in this game and has different amounts of perks depending on the rarity. Perks are small bonuses that provide a variety of effects, and each armor tier, as you can imagine, has a different level requirement. As you continue questing, the game will also introduce you to gathering and crafting by giving you a quest to craft tools and gather a few nodes. This is a very important part of the game as consumables will greatly improve your overall leveling experience. Around this point, you should have made your way to the first town. There, you will go through a small series of quests that will introduce you to the crafting benches and the town's points of interest, such as the inn, the town board, and the faction representatives. Bear in mind that each town has a separate storage box and trading post, so you cannot access your goods from other zones. The storage box uses a weight system just like your inventory, and you can increase it by leveling your territory standing. As for the inventory, you can increase your carrying weight by equipping satchels. At level 10, you will get a quest that will ask you to join a faction out of the 3 we currently have in the game. There is the Marauders, which are the War Fanatics, the Syndicate, which are the Science Guys, and the Covenant, which are the Religion Fanatics. So everyone is a little crazy, as you can understand. You just have to decide what kind of crazy you are. Fortunately, there's no direct player benefits for choosing a specific faction, but you have to be very careful because you cannot change your faction for 120 days, and after that period passes, you can also not join the faction that controls the most territory. Companies are also faction specific, so you cannot have a company with players from different factions. In New World, companies can also claim territories or conquer another faction's territories through wars, and as of today, companies have a limit of 100 players. There is also a system called territory standing. Basically, think of it as a reputation system for each zone there is on the map. The more you increase your territory standing with that zone, the more benefits you get. Every level also gives you a choice of 3 upgrades that cannot be respected, so be very careful when choosing what to upgrade, as these also have diminishing returns. I will release a tutorial for those before launch with what I believe will be the most optimal options to grab. One important thing to note though is that when you reach a level 10 standing with an area, housing unlocks for that area and you can purchase a house there, which gives you an additional teleport for that zone. Next up, let's talk about the questing system for New World. There are 4 types of quests we can do. The main story quests, which you should really focus on. They are shown with a very bright yellow color on the map. The side quests, which provide a little less experience than the story quests, and they are also shown in yellow on the map, but not as bright as the story quests. Then we have the faction quests. These quests are made up of 3 PvE quests and 3 PvP quests. To do the PvP quests, you have to be flagged. Faction quests are also a great source of gear. You can get new gear at level 15, 25, 35 and so on. And finally, the town board quests that are also on a timed refresh. These will usually give you small tasks to complete, such as killing 5 wolves or crafting 10 health potions. Some are too time consuming for the experience they give, so pick them wisely. So what should you do? My advice is to pick up everything except some town board quests that seem to take a lot of time, and create a circular route that starts and ends at the town. You can also gather in between, and I urge you to do so, as it will help with filling the XP gaps when you are out of quests. If you are coming from another MMO, by now you are probably wondering, "Whoa, that's a lot of walking to do, when do I get my first mount?" I hate to break it to you, but there are no mounts in New World. So you can only walk or teleport to get from point A to point B. We can drop down a campfire by pressing Y that requires 5 wood and 1 flint to create. This can be used as a respawn beacon within a 500 meter range, so it's useful to drop one of those outside of towns, or when you think you might die from a tough quest, so you don't start over from the town. We also have inns that are on an hour cooldown, and when you visit a town, you have the option to register to that specific town's inn, and then you will be able to teleport back there every 1 hour. In New World, there is also a resource called Azoth. You can use that resource to fast travel to waypoints around the world or settlements, but unfortunately, Azoth is limited and not very easy to come by, so use with caution. The good news is that there are a few things you can do to speed up your walking. If you wear light armor, you gain access to the biggest roll in the game, and you can roll once and sheath your weapons to cancel the animation lock in the end. There are also some weapons that give you mobility boosts. The best in my opinion is the bow or the musket, as they give you a movement speed buff after every roll, so you can have a permanent speed buff going that will surely make traveling much faster. The issue with that is that it might get a bit tedious pressing the same 2 buttons every 3 seconds just to travel a little bit faster. So as I mentioned before, gathering and crafting is a very big part of the game. It's so important that you can even level your character exclusively through those. You would expect the leveling speed would be slower than questing, but it's actually on par, if not better. So for those of you that enjoy these kinds of activities, give it a try. Amazon has done a great job at making gathering and crafting enjoyable. Make sure to upgrade your tools as soon as possible, because they will greatly increase your gathering speed. A quick side note here, as we did not cover this earlier, each town has tiered crafting benches, which allow you to craft items for that specific tier. So, as quick as level 20, you can walk to a higher level area called Great Cleave, in which there are tier 3 crafting benches that will allow you to craft tier 3 crafting tools. Crafting is also going to be one of the better methods to make gold, so you can combine gold making and leveling if you decide to go with that route. The crafting system is not very complex and does a good job at helping the player craft, since it grabs all available materials from inside the storage box, removing the need to carry them by yourself. At level 25, the story quest will take you through your first dungeon, the Amrine excavation, and you will also be able to add corrupted breaches to your leveling routine. There are breaches for solo players, but there are also breaches for groups of 5 people. You basically just go to an area with a red marker on the map, kill a bunch of mobs, interact with an ugly red globule, and then you get a bunch of XP. They are a great addition to leveling if you find them on your way. At level 25, you can also start farming elite zones. These are open world dungeons with elite enemies, and they are great for leveling up weapon skills. So now that you know everything that gives experience, I will give you an example of how you would level efficiently. If you think you're going to enjoy all the methods I mentioned, then you'll wanna pick up all the faction and side quests and all the town board missions that are worth doing. Also, don't forget to empty your bags like me. Then you will be ready to create a route with quests to do, and I also suggest you gather a little bit in between and do some corrupted breaches as well if you are 25 plus. Another great way to level is by spamming the dungeon quest if that's your thing. It's repeatable and gives a ton of XP. I will personally do a little bit of everything, and if you're not in a rush, I suggest you guys do the same. It's a great game honestly, and I believe you should take your time at least the very first time you go through it. Finally, if you guys have any more tips we can give to new players, or want to know something I missed, please leave a comment down below. I'll try to answer to everyone. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, please drop a like and share it with a friend. It helps me more than you can imagine. I will also be streaming daily on both YouTube and Twitch, so you can hit me up there as well, or drop by the Discord server if you just want to chat. And my company is still recruiting, so leave me a message on Discord if you'd like to join. So that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching till the end. I really hope you learned something new today, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video. But until then, take care.
Who alive can't put me in a box. I redefine any definition you got. I am the tiger, I'm making steps to the top. The flames, I'll rip it up, you just gotta hand me